Hi guys, it's Ryan here from the Private Banking Forum. I'm just doing my daily review for my live trading. Currently trading the ES today. Missed my setup on the Crude this morning, so I decided to take a look at the ES and I got presented with a good opportunity. We opened up just below yesterday's low of day, and we saw an open test drive out of yesterday's low of day, and we see buyers respond, and I jumped in long from the point of control area here and just started to establish a long position. Managed to get my first two scale outs off the open as we see buyers come in and lift the market higher. Tried to get in a add at the top of the developing value area on RTH and ETH. Just sort of miscalculated this and ended up taking a small stop on my ad, and I ended up jumping back in again at ETH Vwap. We did see some buying, sort of buying absorption. It was more like a two-way trade here, and as soon as we came down to Vwap, I see a big buyer passively stepping in at the 79s, and I ended up putting my rest in order here. Just got my first scale out on this, and just targeting my second scale out on my ad at the developing value area high for today. Just a couple of things I'm keeping an eye on at the minute is this week's developing value, and we're currently sort of testing the developing value area low, so we're going to see either an acceptance of value and a mean reversion sort of play out, or we're going to see people selling the developing value area and we're going to see another rotation down. So just keeping an eye on this at the minute. Just a couple other things I'm looking at is also this month's monthly developing value. You can see, 2 seconds. You can see this month we've been outside of value pushing higher for the best part of the month, and we've just come back and tested value, and we're just sort of deciding whether we're going to accept value or we're going to push higher. So just another thing that I'm keeping an eye on the bigger time frames. Anyway, I'll let you know how this trade develops, and so keep posted. Okay, just a quick update where I'm at. So on the ES this morning, I got long off the open. I tried to add here, ended up getting stopped out on my ad. I added here, I managed to get two scale outs. The market came back down to my entry area, and my core position average looks higher now, but I'm still long from the lows, so it's just the way I've been adding and stuff, it's just affected the way that my core position looks. But I've just added again at the developing area low, and with my stop below value now. Watching some absorption coming in and some buyers stepping back in here. I mean, we saw a pretty big passive buyer at 1675.50. Just let's see if we see this market respond now and test the mean and the other side of value again. Just playing this on the edge of caution because we're also outside of the developing value area on RTH, and we're also getting a bit of a funny looking profile at the bottom. As you can see, we just got a real poor low, so we've got no excess to work with. So just trying to play this the best I can, and like I said earlier, I was keeping an eye on the developing value area low on the week, and we clearly reject this, and we've come back down to the second deviation band. So just keep an eye on this. I mean, we're either going to find some more buyers here and this market's going to come back in to test higher levels in yesterday's range, or we're going to fall apart and it's going to stop me out. But it's the way it goes. I'm actually in a long position on Crude. I've not touched Crude today. I tried to buy the open and ended up missing my order. The market came up, and then we see a rejection of yesterday's value, and we tested yesterday's point of control, and sellers seem to respond here pretty heavy, and we see a big run down and test of the overnight lows again. And we tested a clear level on the market structure, so we come down and we tested the low from this gap up. So if we look at the composite, this is the main composite I've been tracking, and we currently have an open gap. which is a good reference point, and we just came down and tested the lows of this gap, and we see buyers respond, and we've come back into today's developer value, and we're expecting maybe a test of higher prices in yesterday's range. Just playing this by ear. I was looking to try buy the development value area low when we came back in, but I just hesitated and watched buyers bid this back up, and I ended up getting long off of yesterday's low of day. See buyers started stepping in and passively buying Vwap in yesterday's low of day, and then we see buyers started to hit the bid back up. We're just testing today's development value area high, so just going to see now if we can see some more buyers step in here, and possibly a test of yesterday's Vwap and yesterday's point of control, and see if we can see a destination trade to the other side of value. And this is what I'm looking at the minute. So I'll keep posted on this. Just keeping an eye. I don't normally trade two markets, but I normally just trade the crude. But obviously, because I missed my crude setup this morning, I started to look at the ES. And this ES looked pretty good until we started to reject yesterday's value, and I've just been trying to buy it since. I'm still thinking that we're going to see another rotation higher, but obviously with this poor low on the cards now, just going to have to just wait and see what happens here. Anyway, I'll keep you posted. Cheers. Okay, just a quick update. We've just seen this ES do what I expected. It's pretty clear now. Obviously, we've rejected yesterday's lower day. We pulled back to yesterday's lower day, which lined up with the developing value area low, and we've seen buyers come back in and push this back down to my entry level. So I've just got out of this trade now, so I'm probably pretty much break even on my trades from the ES today. Still in this crude long, just approaching my target area now for my second scale out. So it should get this filled, and hopefully see if we can see the other side of yesterday's value tested. So just keep you posted on what happens here. Cheers. Okay, I'll push my target down a bit here. I'm just starting to see some possible selling absorption coming in above the development value area high. I'm just not seeing this push up, so I just force filled my second target. I was trying to get it back up at these current highs, but I've still got 30 tick scale out on the second target, so I'm just trying to play it logically. So just also RTH developing value area high, so just going to see how this market plays out now. Keep you posted. Just checking this ES now. It looks like I might jump the gun a little bit, but I just I didn't want to take too much more risk on this trade. So but it looks like buyers are starting to step back in here at the developing value area low, but that's okay. I'm done on this trade now, so just going to manage my my crude position. So I'm fine with this. Keep you posted. Okay, so we're seeing some buyers respond and push this market higher on crude. We've got two ways we can I can tackle this market at the minute. Regards looking for trade locations on this final target, and so currently what I'm looking at is let me just pull my other chart across. You can see we had a double distribution day yesterday, so we can see clear two distributions. One here, we might just up a different colour so you can see it better, and then the second distribution was down here. So at the minute what we could do is currently we could just target this upper distribution at 105.70, or we can see how the market plays out and see if we can see buyers come through this low volume usage area from yesterday that split the two double distributions up, and see if we accept prices up here. So another way to do it, look at it, is to split the letter. So it might take me a second to get this right. So then we can see the two distributions clearly. So like I said, also we're going for an expansion run to the upside. We're outside an initial balance now, and we're trying to see an expansion. So just some things I'm looking at the minute regards looking for some a target for this trade. So I hope this helps, and I'll let you know how I tackle this. Keep you posted. Okay, here's just a quick example of what I was talking about with regards to possibly targeting this upper distribution area. Obviously the market sort of spiked higher out of this initial balance, and as you can see we've tested this reference point to the tick. We've got a new TPO period coming out in about 8 minutes, so I'm just going to see if we can close outside of today's initial balance and see if we can get an expansion run higher. Just see what's going to happen here. What I'm going to do at the minute also as well is with this position is just see what happens with today's developing value. I mean, we're clearly outside of today's developing value, so I mean, we could just see rotations outside of value now, and this market rejects the developing value for the day. So just gonna see what happens here and see if we can get some higher prices. Also, another thing I'm observing is we're back in this week's developing value. So as you can see, since we sort of sold off, we've been rejecting developing value, and this is the first sort of pullback inside it. So I mean, we're either going to hold this week's developing value, or we're going to try and push back out. So it's just just another thing I'm keeping an eye on here. So I'll keep posted on what happens. Okay, sorry guys, I've had some terrible trouble with my mic on my software, and seems that half the recording's been cut short. Not cut short, but the volume's been lost, just stopped working. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and narrate the rest of this video just so I don't waste the recording. At the minute I've added, we see a pullback to RTH developing value area high, and we see buyers stepping in at the point of control from yesterday. And so I added to my position here, and I've got my first scale out and I've got my second scale out currently sitting at the high of day, and expecting a rotation higher. One time frame in at the moment from C period on the test of the major lows, and we're just one time framing higher at the moment, and we're seeing an expansion run to the upside out the initial balance, and just looking at the two balance areas from yesterday from the double distribution trend day, and just looking for obviously possible target areas from there. But we are rejecting the initial balance again, and we are sort of one time framing higher at the moment. So we should get this, looking to get the second target filled at the moment. Just saying that I've got my stop inside of value, and obviously we don't want to see this market come back into value, and just talking about the targets we're looking for. Okay, so we're into the next period now, or sorry, not next period. I've got my second scale out here, and we're currently making new highs. Just seeing what I saw on the footprint chart, we see a pullback a bit further down before I got my second scale out, and then we see buyers aggressively hitting the bid up higher and making a new high of day, just off of today's developing value area high on the ETH chart. So we did pull back a bit further back into the initial balance, and we're currently still at the highs of yesterday's sort of lower distribution level. Just showing the ES, obviously I've got stopped out on the ES at the lows, and we've seen this run up to the developing value area high now. The buyers obviously responded here, and we've seen rotations higher. Clearly see on the sort of footprint chart where the buyers stepped in and started bidding this market up higher. Talking about obviously the levels that we've tested today, and we're looking at the bigger picture now, and you can see the value area low we tested from a previous profile, and obviously we see buyers absorbing price below today's initial balance. So we clearly accepted yesterday's range on the ES, so expecting higher prices now. So back to the Crude trade. Obviously I've got my two scale outs and I'm risk free on this trade. just not risk. I'm just managing my core position again. We're still one time framing higher. I'm trying to put in new highs. Obviously talking about get my target at the first IB extension, and it's currently 10 to 1 Eastern time. Just got about another hour and a half left of the pit session. We're slowly just grinding higher. Still one time framing and clearly rejecting the initial balance. Just talking about where I got my target at the 106.30 area, which is obviously yesterday's value area high, and the VWAPs for the weekly. This week's developing VWAPs at 106.30. So now we're back into value and balance on the week, looking for a reversion to the mean. Just looking at the distribution of this upper level from the gap up. Obviously we're in the major composite area, just filling in volume from the lows. Just talking about the low volume usage yesterday, or the low volume node from yesterday. Obviously yesterday's split distribution of split up. We've now seen a pullback off the high, and we're just sort of sitting on top of the initial balance high, and we're riding the 1.5 standard deviation VWAP ETH, and it's currently 1:30 Eastern time, so another hour left of the pit session. It's a bit concerned here because the point of control was not migrated higher. Obviously this is what Jim Dalton refers to as short or long in the hole, where price migrates away from the point of control and it doesn't shift higher, so it deems that there is a correction in place in the market if it doesn't migrate with price, because it's not accepting the price level. So just a bit concerned that we're obviously not seeing it migrate higher, and just saying if we've got 6 lines on the current point of control, so we need to have 6 TPOs in a row for it to shift higher inside of value. So just talking about whether we're going into the next periods, if we can stick above obviously today's developing value area higher, then we should see this point of control migrate higher, which is obviously more confidence in the trade. Saying that we're still sort of rejecting the half standard deviation for the week's developing value, and but the longer we stay inside, then the more likely we are to revert to the mean here. But we could see a possible push back outside of value though. Okay, so what happened now is we see the market come back into RTH VWAP of developing value area higher, and ETH just above the ETH developing value area higher, and I added back down here to my position, just looking for this market not to come back into value, and obviously rotations higher. Also tested the initial balance, inside the initial balance, and we see buyers respond again. I'm just looking for my first scale out to take some risk off. The point of control is still not migrated higher, so still has been a bit cautious here. But we are rejecting the initial balance still. Just showing that we are obviously still outside the initial balance, and showing you the tests on the 30-minute chart, the candlestick chart. Still looking to scale out my first target here on my ad, and we're still inside obviously this week's developing value, so target's still the mean, which is 106.26 at the moment. We've entered a new period now, so we're in the last period, it's K period, so hopefully we're going to see a 6 line of TPOs and the point of control shift up. Okay, so I've got my first target off now, and still just managing my second scale out on my core position target. The point of control has shifted up, and we're just testing the initial balance high again. So we've now just tested a bit further into initial balance high and pushed in control, and Just tested yesterday's point of control as well, so just being a bit cautious here, because obviously in the closing periods you get some pretty crazy action sometimes, so it's best to be pretty cautious. Obviously try to push back into ETH developing value, and we've seen some buying absorption, and this market instantly reacted and pushed higher, so it's good to see a response like that. So still just waiting to see if we can get a spike higher into the close or not. Still just sitting outside of today's developing value, and still just rejecting it. So at the minute we've got about a minute left to the close now, and just being a bit cautious still. Want to try and get my first scale out off at least, as I shouldn't. It would have been nice to have got it off already going into the close. So at the minute I'm just thinking just to get this risk off, because it was pretty close to where I'd added it, and obviously there's no point trying to take profits off from it. So we've got about 50 seconds left until close now, so I'm just going to get my second scale it off just for a small profit, just to get some risk off, to see if we can get some little response, buying response into the close. Just still sitting above the point of control and outside the initial balance and outside of value. I'm just going to show you my fills for the day. So you can see where I got long off of yesterday's low of day, and got my first scale out, my second scale out. So you see the market come back down, and I added again, got my first scale out, second scale out, and then we pulled back down again. I got another add, and I managed to get one scale out, and I just took the next one off for a small profit, and just managing my core position still from the lows, just to see if we can get that little push up into the close, and just showing all the orders that are getting taken off into the close. I'm just going to look to close my position out and call it a day now. So there we go, that's the trade over with, and just going to have a look at the ES quickly. And obviously the ES, we ended up seeing buyers push it out the developing value area highs. We came back into yesterday's value, and we ran up and tested yesterday's RTH close, and saw some absorption up there and come back into value at the moment, but it's just a shame I couldn't catch that move up. So I'm done for the day, and catch you all tomorrow. Cheers, bye.